Hey guys, it's Cauliflower. Welcome back to my channel. And today is just a regular get ready with me chit chat type of a video. So in front of me, I have a bunch of products that I already currently use. Some I brought back out again, and there's just one or two newer items I'm going to be trying here today, which will be from Morphe. Morphe has a Arch Obsessions 5-piece brow kit that I just saw on their website. I thought it looked intriguing. I also picked up the Morphe sponge, which I have used before, but I figured I'll just feature it in this video so you guys can see how I use it. And then for mascara, you guys saw in my Ulta haul that I got the new CoverGirl Flourish by Last Blast. This has avocado and papaya oil. So we'll see how that all works out. So I'm gonna pull my hair back, just, off my face. It's not a very good hair day for me today, so I'm just gonna tie it back in a pony and we're just gonna get this whole thing started. I'll fix my chain so I don't look, crazy. The shirt's gotta get all fixed, the boobs. Okay, I think we're good. All right, let's start off with primer. I'm gonna start with this MAC Prep and Prime, just a skin base that I've had and I used yesterday and was like, oh, this isn't bad. So it's like a moussey type of a texture. It's really nice though. It feels really nice and light. So I'm gonna go in with that. I don't really worry too much about the pore thing. I know a lot of people talk about their pores and matting them out and all that kind of stuff. I never think about that stuff when I'm putting on primer. I just hope that when I put on primer, that whatever I put on top of it just doesn't get like all cakey and crepey and just doesn't make me look 15 years older than I already look. Yeah, so I'm going to go in with an old mascara foundation. This is the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1. I don't recall using this a whole heck of a lot. I don't know if I even reviewed this before. I probably tried it out a few times and then I just, tossed it back in my foundation drawer. But when I did take this out again, I used it over the weekend and I was like, why am I not using this again? I'm not really sure. So I'm going to go in with the Morphe sponge because, of course, I forgot to bring my foundation brush out here. So I'm just going to do a couple of pumps on my hand. This is in the color Creamy Vanilla, which is 01. So I'm just going to do that. I don't know if I should use the pointed side. I kind of like the angled side, so I'm just going to go in with the angled side. And yeah, the color match is pretty decent. Okay, so there's still so much going on in the beauty community. It just never seems to be a dull moment. It never seems to die down. It's getting to the point where I'm just like, I'm gonna stay over here in my little land of I don't know anything. Because it has gotten to the point where I think people are just looking for things to complain about now. I honestly think it's at a point where people are looking to complain about things. That doesn't have to do with the beauty community, but lo and behold, it gets extended into the beauty community because of the person who worked with Jeffree Star. And of course, I'm talking about Shane Dawson. And I really don't understand people at all. First of all, Shane Dawson happens to be somebody that I just on every level relate to. I relate to him emotionally. Every time I watch him react to something, I'm like, oh my God, he reminds me of me. Because like, if I sit there and listen to people's stories or people are telling me, tragic things or things that happen to them, I get like I'm like, oh my God. And it's nice to see that there is somebody out there who has this platform, who has so many subscribers that are just so willing to sit with people, give them the time of day, and to be very like intuitive and emotionally just connected with them. And I really appreciate that. But since Shane Dawson picked a very controversial subject, being the Logan brothers, specifically Jake, of course, now we're going to have some sort of backlash because all of a sudden now we've got all of these people out there that are complaining about how he is showing or perceiving the sociopathic side of it all. And to be honest with you, I don't know where the offense comes from because he obviously is learning as he goes along. This isn't somebody who's sitting back and saying to everybody, oh, you know, I know what a sociopath looks like. I know what a sociopath is. He's learning as he's bringing this information to us. He was trying to tie this into his series. But what I like about the way this series is going is that he's learning along the way. It's not like it's cut and dry. Jake Paul Logan is a sociopath, nor is he saying Logan is a sociopath. I myself might disagree with that because I think the both of them are just formidably sociopathic, as Logan has said he has sociopathic tendencies. I agree with that. Okay, gonna go in now with the, this is Koki Le Brights, or Be Brights. We got this a couple of months back, and it's just in light, and I actually really do like this concealer, so just gonna go in with that. Anyway, so people are complaining that Shane Dawson is being insensitive. I don't see where he's being insensitive. I think he is being completely like anybody else that's just learning about something for the first time. You know, I would react the same way. Oh, wow, you know, people are like that. Well, do I have those types of people in my life? And these are things that you would think. These are things that you would consider. He just has the balls enough to actually say it. I don't know. I don't know why people find things to complain about. You know, there are some things that I get really wide-eyed about, and I'm like, how come nobody's saying anything about this? And then the things I think people shouldn't say anything about, they get all bunched up about. But I like the series. I love what he did with Jeffree Star. I thought he was extremely fair. I thought he was extremely just very open and honest about everything. And I think he's doing the same with the Logan brothers. I honestly do. I think he's giving it from the perspective of not only, you know, the Team 10 members, but the parents and Jake himself. You know, who knows if Jake is going to be forthcoming and honest. By the time this video is up, that video will probably be out. So we'll know, like, how he breaches his own content, what he thinks about it, if he's going to be truthful. But again, Shane Dawson has this way about him that he would probably draw out the truth from like the most hideous person that probably hid 10 different bodies in 10 different places. I think he's really honestly just an amazing documentarian. And again, he's got all of this in his background, and he's opening up more ideas to people. He's opening up more content to people. He's opening up people's eyes to things, that it's not just all cut and dry. It's not all just what you see. I'm going to go in, setting in with my foundation, the Maybelline Fit Me powder, because I just grabbed it. It just happens to be something I pulled back out again. So I'm going to go back in with the Morphe Angled and just do the whole baking thing. Can I be really honest with you guys as far as this whole baking thing is concerned? I don't really understand the whole thing behind it. Like, back when I started YouTube, you know, it was just a simple, you know, translucent powder or setting powder that you just kind of just swept over your face and you were done. Now we're talking about baking, and we're talking about simmering, and we're talking about sauteing. I mean, come on now. Is this makeup, or is this, you know, cooking with Gordon Ramsay? I have no idea. I'm going to be using the Emily Edits The Needs palette. Now, let's discuss this, shall we? I just recently on my What's on My Face and Did I Like It video, I discussed Emily's palette, and I did say that I liked some things about it, and I didn't like some things about it. And honestly, I got no backlash on it, but here's the difference. Emily Noel happens to be probably one of the most humble, just lovingly adoring person on YouTube. You can't get mad at anything Emily has to say, good or bad. I have never seen anybody get all up in arms over anything Emily Noel has ever had to say. And she has her good reviews about things, and she has her bad reviews about things. Now, Miss Tati goes on her video, and she is talking about Makeup Revolution's products, which, listen, I'm in agreement with her. There are certain Makeup Revolution products I think are amazing. There are some Makeup Revolution products I think are crap. But Tati has this dramatic way of getting the point across to you. I don't know if that's an act or if that's just what Tati does, but there are times I'm like, okay, Tati, it's not that bad. And I kind of say that about this. She was going on about some of these powders in here not really showing up or whatever she was saying, which I disagree with. In fact, I'm going to go in with Courage because that's the contour I'm going to be using. I don't know if she was alluding to every powder in this palette. I think she wasn't. I think she more or less was knocking the Wants palette, the way that she did her eyes. You know, people were complaining that that's not normally the way she does her eyes, that, you know, she just didn't really give it much of a chance, and it was kind of a shoddy review. Who knows what kind of day Tati was having. I will agree with people that I don't think Tati gave her normal, you know, just like, let's go in, let's see what all of this is about. She was already not happy about using the new Makeup Revolution foundation. She made that quite obvious that she doesn't like the Makeup Revolution concealer, so she wasn't going to like the foundation. Who you know, who's going to be shocked at that? So I think already she kind of went in with sort of like a, kind of just a, I don't want to say a bad attitude, but she didn't go in exactly like, woo, I'm going to be using Makeup Revolution. So already you've got this, you know, the stigma behind it. That's how I took it anyway. So then she goes into further reviewing with the palettes, the two palettes, the Needs and the Wants. And she went into this one, and I think she liked maybe one thing out of here. And then, of course, she went into the eyeshadow palette. Now, I don't personally have the eyeshadow palette yet. I do want to get the eyeshadow palette, but the way she was going about it, I don't know. For me, it was like, I kind of agree with you, Tati, and then on the other hand, I don't know why you had to make certain comments. I'm going to go in with Joy. I'm going to use that on my as a I guess as a bronzer, that whole thing, just warm up the skin a little bit more. So as she's going on and on about Makeup Revolution and da-da-da-da-da and how she respects Emily and what Emily does and everything to that nature, she goes on to say, you know, I wish Emily Noel would have collabed with ColourPop. Like, serious, girl, do you really need to go there? Like, that was just unnecessary. Okay, that to me was completely and utterly unnecessary. Like, we understand, Tati, that you have your specific favorites. We know that you like certain companies, and that's fine. But Emily Noel worked very hard on producing these with Makeup Revolution. The least you can do is give the respect there. And cut off the whole, don't even mention ColourPop. What does that have to do with anything? Because so many YouTubers already do collabs with ColourPop. I don't know. I just thought that was unnecessary. And from that point on, I was kind of like, all right, you know what? I'm not going to make a big thing out of it, but I kind of don't like the way she handled it. Now, I'm going to take this baking nonsense off my face because it's bothering me. I'm going to go in with the Morphe E41. This is also new that I just got from my Morphe order. So today I saw on Twitter that Tati had posted some tweets of comments that were left on her channel that were not so nice to her, which I'm not surprised, but people do go in. And again, I'm going to say this about anything that has to do with bigger influencers and with the general public. You do understand and you should be aware that you're going to get these types of comments. Now, I'm not condoning what they said to you, but I do really get the sense sometimes that people get so like, oh my God, I don't understand. Like this, I mean, you guys make controversial videos on the daily. Your video with James Charles sitting there talking about the beauty community, hello, and her Halo Beauty stuff, and just other things that Tati has done. I love her, do not get me wrong, I enjoy her. There are moments with Tati, I think she gets a little ahead of herself, a little more self-indulgent with her personality than she needs to, but other than that, I really like her. I've always liked her. I'm also going to go in now with the Healthy Look because it's just one of my favorite powders, and it gives me a little bit more of a glow, so just going to do that very quickly. I don't know. So anyway, she posted that there was some really nasty comments on her videos, which again, I don't condone. There was a person telling her to get over herself. She called her the B word. There was another one that was, you know, I don't even know. It was just, you know, that's unfortunately what happens when you get on Snapchat after your video, and now you're trying to vindicate the fact that I do honest reviews and people have to pretty much get over it. That's the attitude. That is the kind of thing that people are turned off by, and that is what gets a lot of these influencers into trouble. The content itself, yes, but you could have let it die down, let it rest, don't answer people's comments, block and delete, just let it go, and then go in and say, or make another video and say, listen, no disrespect to Emily, I was giving my honest review, that kind of a thing. I don't understand why it's necessary to go on Snapchat and go in and excuse the fact that you just made a video that people are clearly up in arms about, and defend the fact that it was all in honesty and that sometimes you're not going to like a product and that's just too bad if you don't like it. Well, what do you expect? That's just my opinion on it. I don't condone it, but at the same time, I'm going in with the Laura Geller Baked in Bright. This is in Tropical Hues. I don't condone it, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, what did you expect? Did you expect a lot of people to be like, oh, Tati, yes, that's right, you know, you're absolutely right about that. Not everybody agrees with the way that people say things. It's all in the delivery. If you sound like you're going to tell people, well, I don't really care what you think, this is the way I run my channel, what do you think people are going to say? They're going to be like, oh, yeah, you're right. No, especially nowadays where everybody is so like immediately, you know, just offended. Again, one more for the books, one more scandal, one more thing for everybody to bitch and moan about. And then Emily, of course, jumps on Twitter because Emily is an amazing person and she's all defending Tati. And then Jen Loves Reviews is defending Tati. And it's so unnecessary. Like, if you don't like something and if you're giving an honest review, I mean, Nikki Tutorials has done enough of these, you know, Kathleen Lines has done enough of it. If you don't like something, there's ways of wording things and then you just let it go. Plus, the thumbnail girlfriend, I don't know, but whatever. Anyway, so I'm going to go back into Emily's palette with the gratitude highlight. So that's just, I don't know. To me, it gets to the point where you're like, all right, people, you know, when does it stop? When do we stop making mountains out of molehills? When do we just sit back and just take things for what they are? And even if we are that offended, you know, I really do appreciate, there was a YouTuber who put out a video, I think her name is Kylie or Kiki, her name is. I'll link her channel below. I watched her video. She did a emergency review of both the palettes. And, you know, she was a little bit, you know, kind of shading Tati and saying, oh, you know, well, maybe if you gave it some time, if you really had a little bit more time with it, you know, you would have thought differently. And I get that, and I get that she was defending Emily, not Tati. I appreciate the fact that she went in and she was like, listen, these are really good palettes. You know, I respect the fact that, you know, people have differing opinions, but Tati really didn't give it too much of a chance. A bit more like, okay, let's further go into what she used and how she used it and blah, blah, blah. So I wasn't offended by that. I thought she did a pretty good job with that, and I thought it was pretty nice of her to defend Emily. You know, that's what I'm saying. Like, when the beauty community comes together to make a point, but not to be nasty about it, that's when I'm like, that's, you know, I appreciate stuff like that. When the beauty community is all about, oh, God, Tati, she's just such a bitch. Like, come on. We're all not going to like the same things. We're all not going to be able to use them, you know, for what everybody thinks their purpose is. But there is a way to express that where it's not offensive. So, in this kit, you're given a brow definer brush, which gives you the brush on one end, and then on the other end you have this little thin angled thing where you can go in with the brow gel. And then you also have the Invisible Brow Gel. Oh, this is the brow pomade, not the brow gel. This is the brow gel to finish. And then you have the pencil, and you have the under eye highlight, that kind of a thing. Not under eye highlight, but the brow base. So I'm going to go and just go in and see how this works. Now, I got mine in the color, I think this is Chocolate Mousse. They had a few different types of brunette, like brown colors. They had dark brown, they had espresso, they had whatever. But I thought this was like the more accurate for my color, but we'll see. It is a twist up, very, very fine point. So I'm just gonna go in and see how that works. As far as like YouTubers making reviews people are upset or up in arms about, it's not new stuff about how much money YouTubers make. I just have to readjust myself because my leg is falling asleep. It's not news. It's just now that these newer and upcoming YouTubers that are now in the spotlight are all about like being mouthy, and that's basically what it is. Like, it's like, oh, they know everything. No, you don't know everything, and that's your issue. You know, you're still very, very immature in this industry, and you will learn very quickly that that doesn't really pale off well for you. And yes, I'm talking about James Charles because he's another one. Like, I really do want to like this kid. I really, really do. It's actually pretty nice. I like the way that I like the simple way that it just like shapes, and I like this tip. It's really, really good. I don't need to. It's not really necessary for me to do another step, but I really want to see how this Morphe gel performs. It's also in Chocolate Mousse, so I'm just going to go in, and I'll be a little extra today for you guys. James Charles. So I want to like this kid because I think he is very, very, very talented, but I also have a little bit of an issue with him because he tends to always seem to like to throw blame where he thinks blame is due. This thing about Marlene Estelle and about her getting a Netflix deal, which they approached her to give off a, to give, not even like she was doing this can they stop saying documentary? It's documentary. That's another thing. It's a small thing, but I'm like, can you just stop saying documentary? It's documentary. They approached her, and they're talking about the beauty industry, and they're talking about how brands come up, and they're talking about how things are made. Why all of a sudden are you getting so bent out of shape because you're sitting there with your little itchy pants on because you're so ready to expose the very community you work for? Oh, no, 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 no. This was my idea. This is something I was working on. James, if you're working on the damn thing, do a Shane Dawson, talk about it, put it out there, and the rest is history. Why does everything have to be a competition? Why does everything have to be, oh no, this was my idea. This was, you know, something I thought of. Well, you know what, kid? I hate to break it to you, but not everybody really wants to know what you have to say. I'm putting it out there. Extremely just, I don't know the word. I have to find the right word, but I find him off-putting. That's the actual thing I really want to say. I find him off-putting. I think he's entitled. I think the fact that he makes so much money and that he is pretty much almost at the top of his game and everybody loves him, that doesn't absolve you from your attitude. Your attitude sucks. You're consistently always jumping down somebody's throat about, you know, what the beauty community, how much people make. You know, he had to make a comment about that in Tati's video. You know, no, it's not that much. You know, and when he was doing the whole breakdown of the whole thing, like, okay, that's nice. It still is what it is. So you're basically saying Marlena has no right saying how much people are asking for, but you just broke it down to make it exactly validate the fact that you guys asked for this type of amount of money to do videos. So I'm sorry, I don't know where that's absolving you. You broke it all down. You're like, well, it's this and that. Companies make millions. And then when you talk about their budget that they're using, and then they give it to certain YouTubers, dude, this is Makeup Geek. okay? She was completely honestly saying, listen, we have a budget for this. We can't offer free PR to everybody, so we do what we can. This one wants to jump down the throat and be like, oh, but please, people are not asking. Apparently, James, you're not willing to say what you're asking because you think that this is such a travesty that people are even, you know, stating the facts. But I think brands are just fed up. I think certain people are just fed up with this mentality that you guys know it all and that you guys think that everything that you like or dislike is holy grail, bottom line, that's the end of it. And that's just not the case. There's room enough in this beauty industry for a hell of a lot more than an under 21-year-old. I'm sorry, I'm putting it out there. So now I'm going to go in with the Morphe. This is the under, I guess just to highlight. I don't know. I've never done this before, so just going to go underneath with this very carefully. I know a lot of people use concealer and that kind of thing, but I kind of appreciate products like this because it just makes it easier. And I really like it. Well, so far, my first impression, excuse me, I have to watch out what I'm saying. It's not a review, it's a first impression. All right. Going underneath this one too. I like it because it's not too waxy and it's not too creamy. Because you know how sometimes you get those like pencils that just immediately they touch your skin and then they break apart. This is not doing that. So I like that feature so far. Is that okay to say? Okay, and I already went in with the gel, so that is it with the brows. All right, next thing I guess is going to be the eyes. And speaking of Morphe, I decided to pull out this guy. This is the Morphe 3502. I haven't used this palette in a hot minute. I really have not. And it's a gorgeous palette. It's got all of these warm tones, which, you know, again, people complain about brands putting out warm tone palettes. I happen to love warm tone palettes. I mean, they tell you your coloring is based upon your vein color. So mine are green, but I believe that that is cool tone. But I tend to always go toward the warmer tones. That's just my preference. Nothing against cool tones. I think they're nice too. I just they don't show up well on me is my whole point. So I'm just going to go in. I have all of my eye brushes out here. I'm just going to go in with this crown brush. This is a crease brush, just one of my favorite brushes. And I'm just going to start with this color right here because I don't have a real preference. I think it's called Bronzy. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. You know, I just... Oh, there was something else, continuing with James Charles, there was something else. I don't like the fact of him pointing out about small influencers and how troubled they are. I really don't like that. That some small influencers, you know, there's controversy or scandals and all this other nonsense around them. Just, the immaturity is just so blatant, and that's what drives me crazy. I'm like, you know what? We get it. We get it, James. We get it. You know it all. You have all the insight. You know, you made this documentary that you're not willing to put out there, all this work you put into it, you know, because you seem to highlight all of the important key factors that we have not touched upon, apparently, because, you know, some of us haven't been here for longer than he's probably put makeup on his face. But, you know, some of us don't really want to dive back into that. We already know the kind of response and feedback. Like whenever I talk about drama on my channel, people are not very big into it. It depends on not my subscribers. A lot of people come here if I talk about Laura Lee or Manny because it's such a wide array of different videos that are out there. So I'm pretty much probably in the mix. And I'm aware of that. I'm aware that people don't stay because I'm not your average, bright, everything behind me, you know, produced and edited the right way and using new products on the daily, like every 24 hours, like these YouTubers are. They say about setting the bar high. I say that you use so many bells, whistles, you know, creative ways to make things look good. But in the real life we all live, that doesn't fare well. You know, you walk into an Ulta, you walk into a Sephora, yeah, bright lights, gorgeous displays, shiny new things. Then you go over and you purchase things and you bring them home to your normal average home, to your mirrors, to your bathroom, to your bedroom. and you look at it in real lighting and then you go, oh, that's the way it looks on my face. I don't know. I don't know. I love YouTube. I love doing YouTube. And if I could afford to throw up, you know, 17 different ring lights and give you like amazing backgrounds and whatever, but I can't because I'm just a normal housewife that is an actor and I, you know, do other things. But I just, you know, do this because I enjoy doing it. All right, I've talked too much. I'm going to go in and finish my eyes off camera because I'm just going to keep talking, and we'll be right back. We're back and I have finished my eyes. I really have forgotten how really good this Morphe 3502 is. So I just want to quickly let you guys know the certain colors that I went in with. After I left you, I put in heat in my crease, and then I put fire on the outer corners of my eye, and then I blended it in with brick. And then I went back into Emily's palette and I used her Gratitude for the center of my eyes, as well as Ruby. I laid down Ruby first and then I put in Gratitude. So done with the shadow portion of my eyes. Now we're gonna go to mascara. And I'm hesitant already because I always have that pre-thing about CoverGirl and their mascaras, but sometimes they have come out with some pretty decent ones. So this is the new Lash Blast Flourish with coconut, avocado, and papaya oils. It looks like this. It's just a nice teal green packaging, kind of normal for their Lash Blast. I couldn't think of the name of it. Their Lash Blast. And let's see what the wand is going to look like. Okay. All right. So that's what the wand looks like. It's skinny. It's spindly. We're just going to go in. I have a mirror over here. So if I'm not looking directly into the camera, just know that I'm just going in. Ow! That hurt. Like immediately that was like, be careful. You don't stick this in your eye. Okay. Okay. I'm going to reserve my thoughts for after I apply this to the other eye. But ow, with this wand, number one. And of course I got some on my face because, you know, it's never a dull moment on my channel. It's never like without fail that I get something on my face. So there's that. All right, we got that off there. Okay. But these wands, these spindly type of wands, like you know, some of them work very well. Like my Catrice waterproof, I think, works really nicely. But for some reason, I don't know, this one is like not working to the potential I'd like it to. So there's that. All right, we got that off there. Okay. But these wands, these spindly type of wands, like you know, some of them work very well. Like my Catrice waterproof, I think, works really nicely. But for some reason, I don't know, this one is like not working to the potential I'd like it to. I don't know. The extension of the lashes is there. I see it. All right, let's go for bottom lash. I'm scared. I'm scared. I really am. So I wish I could go closer with if it's grabbing the lash or not, but okay, I think, oh no, now we have lips, and I'm just gonna go in with the Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink. This is in the color number 65, Seduction. Is that what it is? Yes, Seduction. I also have my Dior liner. This is in, what color are you? Okay, it's number 169. It looks like this. I'm gonna go in with this and use the, maybe this is one of those ones where you have to sharpen it. I don't know, because it's kind of like when you twist this, unless that's just the fact that I think you twist it, but you don't really twist it. Okay, Dawn, have another. I like this because it's subtle, you know. Very subtle, obviously, because you barely can see it. What is going on today? I don't know what's going on. All right, I'm going to go in with the Maybelline, which honestly, I said to you guys in my, what I put on my face video, that it is very, very dry. So I have my Too Faced lip injection right in my hand to put on top. And I probably should have went with a different color. I probably should have went with a different color for this look, but figured I'd just grab what I've been using. So yeah, it's not exactly matching this eye look, but you know what? We're just gonna finish up with my Mario Tedesco facial spray with aloe, herbs, and rose water, just to, you know, set everything into place. I absolutely love, love, love this stuff. I mean, I don't, you know, necessarily need setting spray, but I do like using the rose water. It just is something I always enjoyed using. All right, and this is the finished look that I came up with today. You know, just a simple little fall look. I really enjoy. I love what my eyes look like. I like what my brows look like. The Morphe kit, I really do think is pretty cool. First impressions, the pencil itself, this pencil is really, really good. It kind of reminds me of my BH Cosmetics pencil. I like the fine point. I like that you can get right underneath those sparse areas. And I do like this brow gel that came with it, as well as the clear gel and the underbrow. I can't get this product right, the underbrow like highlight pencil. I really love that. Love the fact that it's not too waxy or too creamy where it tends to break off when you're trying to apply it. So I really do enjoy that. I really have to go back to using this palette. I forgot how good it really is. I like the look of my eyes. I didn't use like a liquid eyeliner or anything like that. I really don't dive into liquid eyeliner that often, so I kind of just left that out. Everything else, you know, the Emily Edit palette, I love the face powders. I said that in my review. I absolutely love every single one of them. The contour, the bronzer, the highlighter. You know, it is just a great everyday palette for those. Yes, some of those shadows are chalky, but that's just the way it is. And the mascara, well, I'll play with it a little bit more. I'll give CoverGirl their due. I'll just say for now, it's, well, we'll see. We will say. But anyway, that is it for my Get Ready With Me chit chat. Just remember, guys, don't take everything so seriously. Not even my opinions. I just, you know, I happen to just rattle off whatever I'm thinking at the moment. But honestly, it really all is just makeup. It's all about making us feel better about ourselves. So let's stop making everybody else feel bad about themselves. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.